Hey everybody, it's Brandy Fioriani for the Eagle Chamber of Commerce. I am so excited to be here today with Julia Hilleary, who is the owner of Eagle True Pilates Arts. She has a wonderful, beautiful, small home office over here just north of Eagle Island, and I'm going to have her tell you kind of all about that and her background. So Julie, how did you start all of this and why?
I have been practicing Pilates since I was a very young girl in New York.
Okay.
I was dancing there at the School of American Ballet, and I fell into Pilates because I needed to gain strength, I needed to get my balance. I grew very quickly, and I was falling down, and the director of the company in the studio at the school, said, you need to go to Pilates. So I had to figure out about Pilates. I did. I found my teacher, Romana Krasanovska, and I started being introduced to the Pilates method.
Okay.
It is a very old method. It originated in World War II. Joe Pilates was a nurse. He was interned on the Isle of Man, and he did his exercises to keep himself alive and to help the other prisoners there.
Oh my goodness.
And he took an old hospital bed and he built the first reformer.
Okay.
So anyway, he's gone on through, he came to New York, he met his wife on the boat. His wife was a nurse, her name was Clara, and they started their Pilates studio.
Okay.
And Romana was dancing at that time. She was also at the first School of American Ballet with Mr. B, Mr. Balanchine. And she hurt her ankle, and Mr. B said, well, you need to go to Joe. So she had to figure out who Joe was. She went to Joe, and Joe said, I'll give you 2 weeks. No dancing, you come, we work. If you don't feel better in 2 weeks, you can leave.
Okay.
So she never left.
Oh, how wonderful.
He took care of her ankle, and she became the one out of all the elders. There's a small group of people who work with Joe Pilates still, and she continued his legacy and continued his teaching. When he died, she was in New York teaching with him, and she helped his wife continue the studio, and eventually it became her whole thing.
Oh, and then she taught you.
Yes, she did. She's taught over, and I remember there was a point where she said to me, she had come to California. I had heard she was in California. I was already there for just a few years. I went running over to make sure it was my Romana. I sort of barged in and went down the hall and stuck my head in the door. And there she is, and she just looks at me.
You're here.
She just come. And I went and I sat down on the Cadillac there at Mindy's studio.
Aww.
And afterwards she said, well, what are you doing? Are you teaching? Well, yes. I was teaching at that time. I was teaching ballet, but I was also teaching Pilates at Elizabeth Arden's on the salon on Rodeo Drive.
Okay.
So that was fun because you got to go between New York and LA.
Right.
For little things. That was right up my alley. So anyway, after that she said to me, well, we're doing a certification program, and you're number 10. And I said, okay. So that was it. That was in that was 93, 94, I got certified. And I was teaching before I got certified and after, but all through it, Romana was always made sure I had her phone number, and I called her quite a lot. We had a lot of conversations. She helped me quite a lot in my teaching, like she does everybody. Right. But she told me on that day that she wanted to have a good network of teachers before she died.
Oh.
Now, that was quite a while ago, it was like 20 years. So she, it's true, she has a world full of certified Pilates teacher. We are comprehensively certified. We're not just certified in the reformer, or the mat work, or the Cadillac, or the electric chair, or the high barrel, or the baby chair, like how other programs do it.
Right.
We know the whole system inside and out. I could show you one exercise on 5 different pieces of equipment.
Right. Right.
And it's a fabulous program. It can help anybody. It will help anybody.
Right.
You just have to give it a try and be patient with your body. Things aren't going to happen overnight.
Well, and
just like any other therapy.
Exactly. And everybody's bodies react differently depending on where you are, where you've been, how you've started, what injuries you've potentially had, and that kind of thing. So you mentioned that, and I want to throw out there to everybody, Julia is wonderful, and she is here to help anybody who is looking to see what Pilates is all about, to test out the waters. She's always here, and it's a very personal experience. So this is very much a one-on-one or a small class setting. So you're never gonna feel intimidated like you're in a big room of people and you don't know what you're doing.
Lots of privacy, easy parking. You could even bring your horse, I'll let you. I think it would be okay for an hour.
Oh my gosh, right.
I used to, when we first moved here, 7 years ago, we lived down an artesian road.
Okay.
And it was wonderful because people could actually ride their horse and put it in the field and come in for Pilates.
Oh, how fun! So you've been teaching here in Idaho.
Yes,
for
7 years.
7 years.
And I've always just had my place in the studio. I taught at Performing Arts Physical Therapy in Los Angeles. And then when I got married, my husband and I moved down to San Diego area, and I just started teaching my home.
Wonderful.
And I've been able to teach other students who became teachers. So.
Right. So, and you have the background from the beginning of where it all started and that kind of thing. Which is kind of amazing when you think about it. To have somebody who's more classically trained than just a program that you've gone and signed up for.
Right.
Wonderful. Well, I know you've had surgery. I know you've had things that you've worked through yourself. Would you mind sharing just a little bit about that way?
No, not at all. I've had different surgeries. I had about 20 years ago now an ACL reconstruction.
Oh my gosh.
And I was teaching ballet classes. I was teaching forte turns. And I heard my knee snap. Oh well. So they only had to replace my ACL. So Ramona nursed me through that over the phone.
Back before Zoom was a thing.
And I went to New York and saw her. I went to LA, and all of that. It actually happened when I was teaching at the physical therapy studio.
Oh my goodness.
So that was fabulous. So the owner there, Mindy, was fabulous. And, nobody would let me make a move that was incorrect. So it healed well and quickly. Then later on, I had, it was also here, right after we moved here, I had a hip replacement on my right side.
Oh my goodness.
And it was interesting because there was nothing that really happened. It's just everything got worn down in my hip socket.
Years of dancing.
Yeah, just living. And I have a little scoliosis, so I sort of lean the wrong way, not perfectly. That's been a big correction all of my life. Stand up on both feet.
Right.
Yeah. So, I definitely can help people through that.
Wonderful.
And then this past year in 2019, on April Fool's Day, I suddenly lost my ability to walk. I felt very weak. My husband took me to St. Al's, and I had an MRI. Finally, I told you.
Right.
And they discovered an abscess in my lower spine, out of nowhere. And they called a Dr. Manning, who is a fabulous neurosurgeon, and he and his colleague, Dr. Harold, they saved my life. It was
your ability to walk.
And my ability
to
teach. Walk. Yes. I have some numbness in my legs. I must use a cane. I have drop foot on my left foot. But I'm still going to physical therapy and I can actually bend my foot. Look at that.
That's incredible.
All the way. I was only there a few weeks ago. I was only that far. Now I can come even higher. So I'm working with some physical therapists here in Boise.
Well, and what a testament to your training and being able to do Pilates and do physical therapy.
Yeah, it's weird to get on the reformer where you have to put your foot on the foot bar and not be able to feel where your feet are.
Right.
And then the foot's always sliding down. So I had to, over the past year, since I was allowed to do the work because nerve damage I have severe nerve damage. Right. It just takes its time. So I've had to just train myself to keep my foot on the footbar. And now I'm working with a colleague of mine who is on the other side of the country in Carolina, and
She's wonderful.
yeah, we just started, so it's like a hallelujah week.
Well, a great week for you.
Yes, this
Yay.
is very exciting.
Well, as you can tell, guys, Julia is wonderful. She's here to help anybody and everybody, every age range you can think of is welcome here in her studio. Check her out. We'll have her link to her webpage and all of her wonderful information in this post. And I hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you so much for letting us come see your beautiful studio. And
thank you.
We hope to see you again soon.
Everyone's welcome. I have a lot of people who come to me for different reasons, and everyone improves, and everyone learns the method and understands it, and can take it into playing golf or walking on the beach with their grandkids.
There you go.
Even our little beach here on Eagle Island.
I love it, exactly. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're so excited to share Julia with you, and we hope you guys have a fantastic day.
Thank you.